What's up, guys? One thing I wanted to talk about, continuing the land nav post from Instagram, is using a compass. Actually using a compass in the woods. So I'm just going to go over a few points with the compass. Well, I have you guys here, and this will be a part one to a larger land nav video, okay? So first things you should know, there's a few different types of compasses. The three that I've used most frequently: orienteering compass, a lensatic compass, which is like the ones you see in the military, like the green circles, and a button compass, which are like the little ones you can put on your shirt. Through the woods, Compass and Terrain Association. Okay, so typically this, coupled with a map and terrain features, is how I navigate in the woods most often. I also have a Garmin on me, but I predominantly just use a compass. Most of the time, a button compass. So let me go over a couple different ways on how to use this compass first, and then I will get into how we can navigate with it. So some very basics with a compass. Always have a dummy cord on your compass. I need to burn the edges of this one, but this one's kind of short. It was just for my hand. I typically will dummy cord a compass to my gear, okay? Or the pouch that it's in. That way I can pull it out and I leave my dummy cord long enough where I can use it and get it away from my gear. Or if I want to use it this way, I can do the compass to cheek method with it. So have a good dummy cord on there. Also, carry 3 compasses, okay? Your primary should be an orienteering compass or a lensatic compass, some kind of full-size compass. Your secondary should be the same, and your tertiary, your third, should either be a button compass or a Garmin, or whether it's your phone like Onyx or something. If you have it downloaded, you should have 3 compasses. The reason for that, compasses over time can demagnetize. So basically what that means is, instead of north being where this arrow points, the north seeking arrow, the red one, it ends up pointing south. So it completely flips around on you, and it's pointing in the exact opposite direction. So that can happen over time due to prolonged exposure to metal, or they can, they just wear out, they get old, and things can happen to make them flip. I've had it happen to me several times. I know people are like, oh, I've never had that happen in my life. But I've had it happen to me several times. And one time I was in the backcountry hunting with a guide, and his compass demagnetized. He only had one because he had never heard of compasses demagnetizing before. At the time, I only had one with me. Mine was pointing the right way. His was pointing the wrong way. I don't fault him for it. He trusted his, and we ended up in circles in the swamp, soaking wet, and I couldn't get satellite signal for my Fortrex. So now I carry 3 compasses. So it's good to have a backup, because you can use the 2 to check the 1, and if you have 3, 2 of them are always going to be pointing in the right direction, most likely. So another thing with compasses, I like the orienteering style like this. I find them easier to use, they're easier to read, and I like that I can lay them down over my map and see through them. That makes it easy to do map work and be able to plot points. So they're also cheaper for quality ones. Silva, Sunto, and a few other companies make some pretty decent orienteering compasses, but Sunto and Silva are the 2 that I've used most frequently, and I've had them for years. They're solid compasses. The other advantage to these is there's also a mirror, which is helpful for putting on face paint or using as a signal mirror if you need to. I can do a video on that later on, but so multifunction, right? Signaling. And if you're going to use the compass to cheek method, it can assist you in reading what azimuth is showing on there. So compasses, good shit. So, you have a few different parts of your compass, okay? The important ones we're going to talk about today, this is your bezel, and you can see on there numbers 0 through 360. And on your lensatic compasses, you're going to have two sets of numbers. One of them's mils. Don't worry about that. That's for artillery. So 0 through 360, and you got this little red arrow right here. That's called your north-seeking arrow. And then for our purposes, we're going to call that red box behind it the shed, okay? But you got that red box on it. And we got our mirror. We got a little magnifying portion right here, and a protractor, ruler put on there as well. And up top you got your sights for aiming for where you want to go. So basically, how the compass works, wherever you are, this north-seeking arrow right here, this red arrow is always going to point towards magnetic north. There's three types of norths. There's true north, there's grid north, and there's magnetic north. Compass is going to give you magnetic north. Okay, for our all intents and purposes, that's fucking north. Okay, that's where this red arrow is always going to point, is north. So, the way you take a bearing is pretty simple. You're going to line up your red box or your shed with that north-seeking arrow, and then wherever you're facing, whatever this number reads is your direction. So, if I want to take a bearing straight ahead of me at you guys, I'm going to look down, my north-seeking arrow's facing that way, so I'm going to spin this bezel until the red arrow is inside of the red box. So I'm lined up right now, north is that way, then I go ahead and look, and you guys are 290 degrees magnetic from me. Okay, so in cardinal direction, that's west. Slightly north of west, but it's not quite northwest. So you guys are 290 degrees magnetic from my position. Okay, I just showed you how to line up your arrow into the box. See how that looks. You're going to spin your bezel until it's into your box. But the important thing, you want to hold your compass nice and flat with two hands, level and straight out in front of you, so it's far enough away from your rifle and your kit that the metal doesn't pull it off, okay? So then you're going to go ahead and spin your bezel, and now your compass is lined up, and you can go ahead and take a bearing. Yep, 290 degrees. So, pretty simple. That's called the center hold method, because you're holding center, okay? Pin your elbows on your kit, hands nice and flat at the wrists, fingers aligned along the sides of the compass, and then you turn your body, you read like that, all right? The compass to cheek method, you hold your compass the same way. You're gonna bend your compass up like this and use these two little rifle sights right here. And you're gonna bring this top portion of your dominant hand up into your cheek, up to your dominant eye, just like you're aiming a rifle. Close your eyes, look down those sights, and where you want to go, you're going to line up your arrows, and you can go ahead and look, and I can see through my mirror that pine tree out in front of me is 232 degrees. Okay, so with the compass to cheek method, I'm going to bring it up same way, aim it like a rifle, look down the sight, and just like you're anchoring a bow, you're going to bring your hand into your cheek, right under your eye, try and keep it as flat as possible, and shoot your azimuth, okay? So another thing we didn't talk about, it's called back azimuth. So if I'm going straight this way, which is 232 degrees, if I'm going straight this way, and I hit a river or something where I don't want to go any further and I want to go back to where I started, I can simply subtract 180 degrees to go in the complete opposite direction, or look down at this hash mark at the bottom that's directly across from 180 degrees across from my azimuth, look down and say, oh, well, if I want to get back to the truck, I got to go 52 degrees. Pretty simple. Little basic math. And if you're bad at math, like most infantrymen are, you can literally just look at the bottom of your compass where the other hash mark is, and that'll tell you your back azimuth, okay? So how does this help us? If you are trying to navigate in the woods, knowing which way you're going is pretty important. So what I just taught you how to do is called dead reckoning. Now you have the ability to walk a straight line in the woods. Dead reckoning, you're gonna find your azimuth, say you want to go 290 degrees for 1,000 kilometers. I'm sorry, 1,000 meters or a kilometer. 1,000 kilometers, you'd be going forever. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna look down at your compass, find that 290 degrees, and you're gonna stay on that 290 degree line for one click, okay? There's different ways you can do this. You can literally take a bearing 290 degrees from where you are. You see, okay, it's that forked tree about 50 meters from me. I'm going to walk to that. So then you walk to that, and from that tree, which is a known point, you take another 290 degree bearing, and you say, okay, that rock is 290 degrees, and you go to that, and you take it, you take it, you take it, you take it. That way, you keep yourself from swaying too far off of a line, because naturally, if you just go, okay, I need to go 290 degrees, and yeah, it's generally that way, you start walking, you're going to drift left or right, depending on obstacles or whatever. So if you're going to dead reckon the whole way, you need to periodically check your compass, and you can take different points. Now, that is the most precise way to use a compass. However, it's also not efficient. It doesn't help you with situational awareness, because instead of getting your rifle up, you're going to be staring down at your compass the whole time, moving like this, and that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And it's not practical. Whether you're hunting or whether you're doing infantry stuff, you can't just look down at your compass the whole time and stare. Especially pretty frequently, the point man or the guy that's number 2 in the formation is going to be your compass man. So you're going to be pulling security. You can't afford to just be locked in your fucking compass the whole time. So you're not going to see deer. You're not going to see the enemy, whatever you're trying to do, right? So here is predominantly how I use a compass.